like to be in the vestibule car.
Oh, bro, I'm sure you're gonna sit here. Which is the vestibule part?
Oh, this side of the car is the vestibule.
That one?
Yes.
Out there?
Yes.
Good luck. Let me know when you're ready.
Alright, y'all. We're just about ready to depart here. Grand Junction. About to go out to East Chattanooga. I'm gonna try my best to hold the camera as steady as I can. I don't have my earphones or anything, so I'm gonna do everything I can.
Drop the ramp flag. Both bridge plates are in the clear. All on board. Let's proceed.
All right. As I can, so in case you haven't noticed, we're just backing up on the Y. So you gotta notice the train. So the train usually comes in at the back of the station. And it usually backs up on the Y, and it comes at the front of the station. So it actually comes in at the back of the station, then goes to the front of the station to pick up passengers and everything. So yeah, pretty much that. Y on our way to East Chattanooga. Dang it, I wish I had my tripod with me, but we were in a hurry, so. Alright, so as we exit Grand Junction, you'll see the display yard over here. There's many cars on it. There's a Pullman car, the Eden Else car, or Eden Isle car, whatever that car is. And there's the Dinner on the Diner train that is stored right there. It's getting ready for the lunch train later on. So, apart from that, here we go. So, I'm pretty sure most of y'all know 630 and 4501 are away on Summerville. So we're just riding with the diesel locomotive today. It's been a long time since I've done this, but hey, it's my birthday, so I'm not complaining about it. So as you look right here, we are now crossing the Chickamauga Creek. And over here, we are now going past McCarty Siding. We're now passing the bridge that leads to the CXX terminal. So, in case you're wondering what cars are in line for our train today, we have car 1000, which is a open window car, and coach 1037, which is a car that was built for the Southern Railway, and Central Georgia number 906, which was built by the Central Georgia Railway. And we are now passing Allied Metals, which, as you can see, they stored their own TVRM equipment. And there's another Norfolk and Western MRLX car number 1498. And there's a boxcar, a diesel, another boxcar, USA diesel F9 unit and 3170. So as we go along our trip, this is formerly, I think, or mainly I think so. Anyway, we are now about to cross the bridge that leads to Tunnel Boulevard. This was a road that I used to take, or my dad used to take me for when I was in grade school. When I was in 2nd grade. So here it is. All right. Now here comes the part where I'm pretty sure most of y'all are very aware of, and it is of course the Missionary Ridge Tunnel. As we pass by this tree, this long skinny kind of tree, which is about, it's coming up right here. There's that tree right there. So we are now about to approach Hunsicker Curve by late engineer, late Louis Hunsicker. And as I'm pretty sure most of y'all will, like I said the last time, we are approaching the 1858 Missionary Ridge Tunnel. The tunnel was built in 1858, and at that time, dynamite was not invented there. About a minute. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our engineer letting us know that we are on approach to the Missionary Ridge Tunnel. Like I said before, the tunnel was built in 1858. It was originally hand dug, and at that time dynamite wasn't invented. So if you're on this train, I highly recommend that you bring a flashlight along with you to see the tunnel walls. So ladies and gentlemen, Missionary. Here. So if you don't notice, I don't have any safety goggles on. That's because I'm riding a diesel locomotive. It's much more easier to see. And we are now on the East Chattanooga side. In just about a minute, we're gonna do like a turntable demonstration of how the train is gonna turn around and return us back to Grand Junction. We're now passing Stevenson Street with a few houses, and we are now crossing our last bridge of the tour right here. No Pullman car. And there's the display car over there. And here you can now see the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum's soul shops, where they usually store, where they put in everything to be restored.
Spot 710-3. Coach on 710 half.
So this is the East Chattanooga Depot. This is where they have desserts, and everything you can buy. And they have many accessories that you can have. And there's also some pictures of 630, former London engine right here.
Welcome to East Chattanooga, but not just East Chattanooga. We have arrived at the end of the line. As you can see right over there to where I'm walking to, that over there, that's it. This here is the end of our 3-mile main line, and thus we cannot go anywhere else. So that being said, we're going to do something fun, and that fun thing is turn locomotive 710 on what is called a turntable. Now this here turntable was built back in 1916 by the American Bridge and Iron Company for the Central of Georgia Railway. It measures in at 80 feet in length, weighs roughly around 80 tons, and is a fully motorized turntable powered by a 25 horsepower motor underneath. Now, sounds cool and all, but when this turntable was built brand new, it was not motorized because motorized turntables were not yet a thing. This turntable used to be powered by hand. This was a hand-powered turntable, an Armstrong table, if you will, as it took four people to turn that entire thing around by themselves and by hand. That's 4 Travises for retrospect.
Yeah.
Now, since our turntable today is fully motorized, that does mean I will not be asking for any volunteers. So y'all are safe. That being said, we're going to use the most magical thing on the railroad to upturn this turntable around today. And that magic item in question is this finger. Now, what I'm holding up is not just any ordinary finger. Make no mistake. This is the magic finger. What's going to happen is your conductor Travis is going to use his magic finger. And when he does, he'll touch a button or two. And when he does that, we'll spin around. Speaking of which, there's Travis. Go ahead and give him a wave.
Hey, Travis.
All right, let's introduce you to the locomotive pulling our train today, the 710. Built in 1950 by the Electromotive Division, or EMD for short, for the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railway, or the NCNSTL for short. The 710 is classified as a GP9 diesel electric type locomotive. The GP stands for general purpose. What that means is that this locomotive could do relatively anything. It could do yard switching, freight trains, passenger trains, it could do all of it. It was never assigned to a specific task, unlike certain classes of locomotives were back in the day. When it was built brand new, however, the 710 was actually built as a GP7, so just a slightly different model, but was rebuilt in 1978 into its current state today as a GP9. So for retrospect, what you're looking at here today is 1950s debut paint scheme, but 1978 rebuild. 710 operated for the NCNSTL until 1957, when that company was absorbed into its parent owner, the Louisville and Nashville Railroad, or the L&N. Then, in the 1970s, it was acquired by a then newly formed railroad company called Amtrak. There, it was used as a maintenance of way locomotive, where it'd go around and repair the various Amtrak main lines because they were prone to wear and tear, because Amtrak is, for the most part, high-speed rail. It served in that capacity until roughly around 2004, when it would be retired from active service. Subsequently, she was purchased by the museum and arrived here the following year, being restored back to its NCNSTL glory days. Today, folks, the 710 holds the distinction of being our oldest operating diesel locomotive at 75 years of age, which in terms of diesels, that is pretty ancient. Now, as we're turning, the rest of our train is sitting back on track number 1, but we're not going back there just yet. We're going to take this turntable, and what we're going to do is move it to the track that is next door to track number 1. That track right there, that is track number 2. Once we get ourselves lined up onto track number 2, the 710 is going to head off the table. Travis is going to hop on board. They'll head on over to the switch at the very front of the yard. Travis will get off, flip that much larger switch back to track number 1, and once that's done, the 710 will reverse backwards and reconnect with our train back on track number 1. Alrighty, folks, let's give our crew a big round of applause. And at this time, we're going to go over to our back shops for the shop tour. If you're not interested in visiting the back shops, you are more than welcome to head back to our train or visit the depot. But if you'd like to see our back shop tour, where we restore and maintain our various pieces of historic equipment, then I do encourage you to follow me right this way. Once again, our shop tour right this way. Thank you.
Yeah.
Our dining cars, and by dining, that means kitchen. This is the 3158, also known as the Traveler's Fair, built in 1924. Next to it, that rusty red diesel, that is the 576, built in 1949 for the Chicago and Northwestern Railway, or the C&W. And the next to us in the shop here is the 21, built in 1926 as a sleeping car named the Point Richmond, although today it is now known as just an office car. What you see is in varying states of repair and restoration. For instance, let's take the 21. As you can see, this car is nicely painted. This particular paint job was applied about 2 or 3 years ago. That's why it looks that new. However, as you can see about the inside and outside, there is still work needing to be done, both on the generators as well as the actual car itself. The 576 in the background is being restored back to operating condition, and the Traveler's Fair is in the midst of a major overhaul, which is scheduled to be completed in the next few months. Now, what this all has in common is one thing, and one thing only: money. Trains are not cheap. This is not Dollar General. Now, for an example, I'm going to use one of our 2 operational steam locomotives. And before I continue, I know what you're thinking. Jack, there's a lack of steam locomotives. What on earth are you talking about? Well, I promise you, we have 2 operating steam locomotives. However, today, they are currently on a trip to Summerville, Georgia, and return. So they're currently having their own fun in the state of Georgia as we speak. So that's why they are not here today.
We know.
Now, I'll talk about one of those, specifically the oldest, number 630. She was built back in 1904, which thus makes her 121 as of this year. Both of our steam engines were restored in this very back shop, and that came at a cost of the 630 specifically costed $700,000. Quite expensive, right?
Sheesh.
Well, in today's economy, the average steam locomotive restoration is usually in the affordable price range of around $2 to $3 million. You all have that money? I sure don't. But there is another very important factor about that particular restoration. It took 10 years, from 2001 to 2011, all done right back there where that Traveler's Fair is sitting. That's where the 630 was restored. Now, why on earth did it take 10 years to restore just one locomotive? Surely there had to be some reasons, right? Well, there were a bunch, but today we'll talk about 3. Now, I have a good crowd with me here today, so by show of hands, who here can guess a reason why the restoration of number 630 took so long as it did? I'll take any hands if you have any guesses.
Let's see.
All right, 2 for 2, I like that. Alrighty, let's see, any other guesses? Oh, really? Yeah, all right. Let's see, a couple more. Any other guesses? Any others?
Stoker.
Nope.
It's Stoker. They gotta do this.
All right, that's good. Two for 2, we'll go for that. So, our first factor is, in fact, parts, as most of you said. Now, this is 2025. We are no longer making steam locomotives. As such, their parts
are no longer being manufactured like they used to be. There is also no such thing as going into an O'Reilly's and picking up an air brake. It is not possible. We did that once, we got laughed out the door. For the most part, with a couple of exceptions, we have to build, create our own parts from scratch in this very building. The second factor is labor. Now, the steam age of these other major mainline railroads like the Southern ended roughly around 1960. Now, I was born in the year 2004, so if I do my math correctly, I was not alive back in 1960.
Neither was I.
Most of our staff today were also born post-1960, so that raises the question, how do we have two working steam locomotives? Well, the skills from the steam era were passed down from one generation to another, and they will continue to be passed down as such. Because if those skills are not taught at any point in time, they're gone, forever lost to the history books. Because as a current college student, I will tell you this now, they are not teaching us how to rebuild a steam locomotive. It'd be a fun class, I take it, they're not doing it. And then factor 3 is the M word, money. Now, we're what's called a non-profit museum. What that means in a nutshell is that we have to raise the money to fund the various projects that go on at this museum. What if I told you that because of you all, our two steam locomotives are still operational? Because believe it or not, you've helped us out quite a lot. Now, the tickets, or the ticket you purchased today, the money from that very ticket is what goes directly into all of our equipment and keeps them running so that future generations can see, learn, and enjoy from railroad history. So congratulations, you all have done something great, and you likely had not a single clue that you did. How funny is that? Now, one last thing. If we were to summarize this all here today in just one word, not one word, is history. History is all around you, and what you're seeing today has quite the story to tell. This is not the present. This isn't the future either. This is the past of railroad travel, and one of our goals in this museum is to teach the future about this past. This is from a bygone era of time, one that is frankly never, ever coming back. Now, why should we care so much about history in the first place? Well, there's a good number of reasons as to why, but to spare you the time, we'll focus on one, which is in the form of a quote. If you do not learn from history, you are only doomed to repeat it. Once again, that is if you do not learn from history, you are only doomed to repeat it. Folks, we here have been preserving history now for 64 years. And because of your support by showing up and riding this train today, we're going to be able to do that for hopefully another 64 years. And with that being said, this is going to conclude our shop tour. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask me, but if not, you can head back to our train and depot at this time.
All right.
Thank you all for your attention. We'll see you back on board.
We are departing East Chattanooga, headed eastbound back to Grand Junction Station. And with that, this will conclude our trip today. On behalf of myself and the rest of our train crew, staff, and volunteers, we'd like to thank you all for riding with us at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. If you should choose to return and visit us again in the future, we do offer a selection of other trains and excursions to enjoy. These include our award-winning dinner on the Diner, which runs through Polk Street in downtown Chattanooga. Our brand new lunch train service, which runs to Sculpture Fields, also here in downtown Chattanooga for a layover.
If you're hungry, go tell Dad.
We have a couple of longer excursions down to the state of Georgia, these being our 6-hour Chickamauga turn and our 9-hour Summerville Steam Special. the latter of which is pulled by our authentic coal-fired steam
Okay, I'll see you in a
locomotive
little bit.
4501.
All right, bye.
We also have train rides for the holiday seasons, as well as train rides out of Delano, Tennessee on the Hiwassee River Railroad. If you wish to find out any more info on those other trips, you can visit our website at www.tvrail.com. After your trip here today, feel free to check out our gift shop and deli, as well as pay a visit to our exhibit building. Located in the back of the property at Grand Junction, admission into our exhibit building is included in with your ticket to ride the train here today, so take advantage and visit our exhibit building. If you have enjoyed your trip here today, then your tour guide was Jack. If you did not, however, then your tour guide was Gilbert. Once again, thank you all for riding with us here today. We hope you have enjoyed this unique experience back in time. Please enjoy the rest of our trip back to Grand Junction Station. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
This is very close to Harding. Actually hand dug. At that time, dynamite wasn't invented. He's old tender. Trainer will be in a second.